The quiet planet. Commander Maya Santos stood at the viewport of her modest merchant vessel, the Wanderer, watching the swirling blue marble of Earth grow larger as they approached. To any observer, she appeared to be nothing more than a seasoned trader returning from a routine cargo run to the outer colonies. Her weathered jacket and practical boots suggested years of honest work moving goods between human settlements. The Wanderer itself looked unremarkable, its hull scarred by countless docking procedures and painted in the faded colors of a typical commercial freighter. What the galaxy didn't know was that Maya Santos held the rank of strategic commander in Earth's Shadow Fleet, and her innocent-looking merchant ship carried more advanced technology than most alien dreadnoughts. For 50 years, humanity had perfected the art of appearing weak while building strength in secret. As Maya guided the Wanderer toward Earth's orbital traffic control, her communication array crackled to life. The message that came through made her blood run cold. It was encrypted with codes known only to Earth's highest military command. All Shadow Fleet assets, this is Admiral Chen Zhao. Priority Alpha transmission. The Hegemony Alliance has issued an ultimatum. Earth has 72 hours to surrender sovereignty and submit to alien rule. Operation Silent Thunder is now active. Repeat, Operation Silent Thunder is active. Maya's hands tightened on the controls. She had hoped this day would never come, but Earth's strategists had been preparing for exactly this scenario. The Hegemony Alliance controlled nearly half the galaxy through a combination of overwhelming military force and economic manipulation. Dozens of worlds had fallen to their expansion over the past century, their populations either enslaved or relocated to serve hegemony interests. Earth had first encountered the hegemon 15 years ago when human exploration ships ventured beyond the Sol system. The initial contact had been peaceful enough, with humans presenting themselves as a young species, eager to learn from their galactic neighbors. The hegemony had seemed amused by humanity's apparent naivety, treating Earth as nothing more than another primitive world, ripe for eventual conquest. That dismissive attitude had been exactly what Earth's leaders had hoped for. While the hegemony and other galactic powers viewed Earth as a backwater planet populated by peaceful farmers and simple merchants, humanity had been working tirelessly to develop defensive capabilities that would shock the galaxy. Every human ship that ventured into space carried hidden sensors, recording everything about alien technology and military tactics. Every diplomatic meeting was an intelligence-gathering operation. Every trade agreement was carefully designed to acquire specific materials needed for Earth's secret projects. The Wanderer docked at Luna Station, officially Earth's primary spaceport, but actually the most visible tip of humanity's defensive network. As Maya disembarked, she noticed the subtle signs that Operation Silent Thunder had begun. Maintenance crews worked with unusual urgency around the station. Cargo ships that should have been leaving for scheduled runs remained docked. Most telling of all, she spotted several individuals she recognized as fellow Shadow Fleet operatives, all disguised as civilian workers. Maya made her way to the station's administrative center where she found Director James Burke waiting for her. To anyone watching, their meeting would appear to be a routine cargo manifest review. In reality, Burke was Earth's spy master, the man responsible for keeping humanity's true capabilities hidden from alien observation. "How bad is it?" Maya asked quietly as Burke pretended to scan her shipping documents. "The hegemony is sending their third conquest fleet," Burke replied, his voice barely above a whisper. 12 capital ships, 40 destroyers, and at least 60 support vessels. Overlord Crix himself is leading the force. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Crix was notorious throughout the galaxy for his ruthless efficiency in subjugating resistant worlds. The fact that he was personally leading the fleet meant the hegemony considered Earth's conquest a high priority. "What about the other powers?" Maya asked. "The Zenith Collective and the Trade Federation have declared neutrality. They're content to let the hegemony do the heavy lifting, then negotiate for scraps afterward. The only unknown factor is the Ethereal Assembly, but our intelligence suggests they'll stay out of it unless Earth proves to have some strategic value they haven't recognized." Burke handed Maya what appeared to be a standard station pass. In reality, it was a high-security authorization that would grant her access to Earth's most classified facilities. "Admiral Chen wants all Shadow Fleet commanders at the Deep Mountain facility within 6 hours. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of. As Maya left Luna Station aboard a seemingly routine transport shuttle, she reflected on the strange path that had brought humanity to this moment. When humans first achieved faster-than-light travel, Earth's governments had faced a critical choice. They could announce themselves to the galaxy with pride and hope for peaceful coexistence, or they could observe first and reveal their true nature only when necessary. The decision to remain hidden had been controversial, with many arguing that humanity should stand proudly among the stars. But Earth's military strategists had studied the galaxy's history and found a disturbing pattern. Young civilizations that announced themselves openly either became vassals to more powerful empires or were destroyed outright if they proved too threatening. The middle path of appearing weak while secretly building strength had never been attempted on such a scale. The shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere, passing over landscapes that looked deceptively peaceful. Rolling farmlands stretched to the horizon, dotted with small towns that could have existed centuries ago. What alien observers couldn't see were the hidden installations beneath those farms, the advanced manufacturing facilities disguised as simple agricultural buildings, and the underground transport networks that connected every major population center. Deep Mountain had once been known as Cheyenne Mountain, home to NORAD during the early days of human space exploration. Over the decades, it had been expanded into a massive underground complex that served as Earth's true military command center. As Maya's shuttle approached the seemingly abandoned facility, hidden doors opened to reveal landing bays carved from solid rock. The sight that greeted Maya as she entered the main command center would have astounded any alien observer. Dozens of holographic displays showed real-time information from across the solar system. Advanced computers analyzed enemy fleet movements while tactical officers planned defensive strategies. At the center of it all stood Admiral Chen Zhao, a woman whose calm demeanor masked one of the sharpest military minds in human history. "Commander Santos," Admiral Chen said as Maya approached, "I trust your cargo runs have been educational?" "Very much so, Admiral. My ship's sensors have been busy mapping hegemony fleet formations and weapon signatures. The data should prove useful in the coming engagement." Chen smiled grimly. "Indeed it will. How long since you've seen our real fleet, Commander?" "Not since the Aurora tests 3 years ago," Maya replied. "Then you're in for a surprise. Follow me." Chen led Maya to an observation deck that overlooked the mountain's central shaft. What Maya saw below took her breath away. The shaft extended down nearly a kilometer, its walls lined with docking bays that housed sleek warships unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. These vessels incorporated technology that was decades ahead of anything the hegemony possessed, their hulls crafted from materials that could withstand direct hits from antimatter weapons. "The Phantom-class destroyers," Chen explained, "completely invisible to conventional sensors, armed with quantum torpedoes that can phase through shields. We've got 40 of them ready for deployment." She gestured to larger vessels docked at the deeper levels. "Those are our Titan-class battleships. Each one carries enough firepower to level a moon, protected by adaptive armor that becomes stronger with each hit it takes. We have 20 operational, with 10 more completing final tests." Maya stared in amazement. "H. How did we build all this without the galaxy noticing?" 50 years of careful planning," Chen replied. "Every piece was manufactured in different locations, then assembled in hidden shipyards throughout the outer system. The materials came from asteroid mining operations that the aliens assumed were just human curiosity about space rocks. The technology was developed by research teams that officially didn't exist, funded through a web of corporate fronts so complex that even our own economists sometimes got confused." As they spoke, alerts began flashing across the command center's displays. A communications officer called out, "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the hegemony fleet. They're demanding to speak with Earth's leadership." "Put it through," Chen ordered. The main display flickered to life, revealing the imposing figure of Overlord Crix. The alien stood nearly 3 meters tall, his reptilian features scarred from countless battles. His uniform displayed the insignia of worlds he had personally conquered, each one a testament to his ruthless efficiency. Primitive humans, Crix began, his voice a guttural growl that the translation systems rendered in perfect English. I am Overlord Crix of the Hegemony Alliance. Your pathetic world has been selected for integration into our empire. You will surrender all military assets and submit your population for processing. Resistance is futile and will only result in unnecessary suffering. Admiral Chen stepped forward, her expression carefully neutral. Overlord Crix, I am Admiral Chen Zhao of Earth Defense Command. We received your ultimatum, but I'm afraid there may be some misunderstanding about our capabilities. Crix's laugh was like grinding stone. Misunderstanding? Human, my intelligence reports indicate your world possesses perhaps a dozen outdated patrol craft and a few orbital defense platforms. Your entire military could not challenge a single hegemony destroyer. Perhaps, Chen replied calmly. You should update your intelligence reports. The alien's eyes narrowed dangerously. Are you threatening me, Primitive? Do you have any idea what happens to worlds that defy the hegemony? I have studied your methods extensively, Chen said. Orbital bombardment of military targets, followed by ground invasion and population subjugation, very effective against unprepared opponents. Then you understand the futility of resistance. You have 72 hours to surrender. If you refuse, I will demonstrate why 57 worlds have chosen submission over annihilation. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in tense silence. Maya could see the determination in every face around her. Humanity had spent half a century preparing for this moment, and they would not back down now. All stations, Admiral Chen announced, begin final preparations for Operation Silent Thunder. It's time to show the galaxy that Earth is not as quiet as it appears. Across the solar system, humanity's true power began to awaken. The revelation. 72 hours after Overlord Crix's ultimatum, his massive fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. The sight should have terrified any defending force. 12 massive capital ships formed the fleet's core, each one a kilometer long and bristling with enough weapons to crack a planet's crust. Surrounding them, 40 destroyers moved in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with the distinctive crimson paint of hegemony conquest fleets. Support vessels carried invasion troops, orbital bombardment platforms, and the administrative equipment needed to process a newly conquered world. Overlord Crix stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Inevitable, studying the tactical displays with satisfaction. His sensors showed exactly what he had expected. A handful of primitive human vessels scattered throughout the system, their energy signatures so weak they barely registered on his equipment. Earth itself appeared defenseless, protected by nothing more than a few outdated orbital platforms that wouldn't last 5 minutes against his weapons. Pathetic, Crix muttered to his tactical officer, a scarred veteran named Commander Vex. How did such a weak species even achieve spaceflight? Perhaps they had help from other races, Vex suggested. Some of the older civilizations occasionally assist primitive worlds, though I cannot imagine why. Crix activated his communications array, preparing to broadcast the traditional surrender demand that preceded every hegemony conquest. Throughout the galaxy, this moment was well understood. The overwhelming display of force, followed by a final chance to submit without bloodshed. Most worlds chose surrender when faced with such impossible odds. Primitive humans, Crix began, his voice carrying across all frequencies. This is your final opportunity to avoid annihilation. Surrender now, and your species will be preserved as productive members of the hegemony. Resist, and your world will burn. The response came not from Earth's surface, but from a small merchant vessel that had been detected on the system's outer edge. The ship appeared to be nothing more than a civilian cargo hauler, the kind of vessel that carried supplies between human colonies. Overlord Crix, came a calm female voice. This is Commander Maya Santos of the Earth vessel Wanderer. We have received your message and wish to discuss terms. Crix's reptilian features twisted into what passed for a smile among his species. Even now, faced with certain destruction, the humans wanted to negotiate. It was almost admirable in its futility. There are no terms to discuss, human. Surrender or die. Those are your only options. I see, Commander Santos replied. In that case, we choose a third option. Before Crix could respond, his tactical displays erupted in warning signals. Across the solar system, energy signatures that had appeared weak and scattered suddenly blazed with power levels that his instruments insisted were impossible. The handful of human ships his sensors had detected were revealed to be decoys, their true nature hidden by stealth technology that made hegemony equipment look primitive by comparison. "Sir," Commander Vex called out, his voice tight with disbelief. "I'm reading massive energy buildups throughout the system. Multiple capital ship signatures, weapon systems coming online. This is not possible." On the main display, space itself seemed to shimmer and bend. What had appeared to be empty void suddenly revealed dozens of sleek human warships, their hulls reflecting starlight like polished mirrors. These vessels were unlike anything in Crix's experience, their designs incorporating curves and angles that seemed to flow like liquid metal. "Overlord," Maya Santos's voice continued, now carrying an edge of authority that sent chills down Crix's spine. "Allow me to properly introduce myself. Commander Maya Santos, Strategic Operations, Earth Shadow Fleet. You are trespassing in human-controlled space. You have 10 minutes to withdraw your forces beyond the heliopause." Crix's shock quickly turned to rage. "Impossible! Our intelligence indicates your species barely possesses chemical rockets. Where did you obtain such technology?" "We made it ourselves," Maya replied simply. 50 years of research and development tend to produce results. The hegemony overlord's roar of fury echoed through his ship's corridors. He had been deceived, made to look like a fool in front of his own fleet. The humans had somehow hidden their true capabilities, luring him into what he now realized might be a trap. "All ships," Crix commanded. "Attack Forma, Gin Delta. I don't care how advanced their technology appears to be. We outnumber them 3-1. Destroy them all." The hegemony fleet surged forward, weapons charging with the distinctive whine of antimatter cannons. For a moment it seemed as though sheer numbers might carry the day. Then the human ships began to move, and everything Crix thought he knew about space combat was turned upside down. The human vessels didn't maneuver like conventional ships. They flowed through space with impossible grace, changing direction without visible thrust signatures, accelerating and decelerating in ways that should have turned their crews to paste. Their weapons fire was equally bewildering. Instead of the familiar energy beams or projectile weapons used throughout the galaxy, the humans employed technologies that seemed to bend the laws of physics. Quantum torpedoes phased through hegemony shields as if they didn't exist, exploding inside enemy hulls with devastating effect. Gravitational lance beams twisted space around their targets, crushing destroyer-class vessels like tin cans. Most terrifying of all were the human ships themselves, which seemed to absorb incoming fire and grow stronger, their hulls adapting to each new weapon type with frightening efficiency. Within minutes, 6 hegemony destroyers had been reduced to glowing debris. The humans hadn't lost a single vessel, and their attacks showed a precision that spoke of detailed knowledge of hegemony ship designs and weaknesses. "Impossible," Vex whispered, staring at his tactical display. "Sir, their targeting is perfect. They know exactly where to hit us for maximum damage. How can they know our ship specifications so precisely?" Crix was beginning to understand the magnitude of his error. "Because they've been watching us for years. Every trade mission, every diplomatic contact, every time we've allowed their ships into hegemony space, they've been studying us." The tide of battle turned completely when Earth's planetary defenses came online. What had appeared to be a quiet agricultural world suddenly bristled with weapons that made the hegemony fleet's armaments look like primitive clubs. Massive energy cannons emerged from hidden installations, their beams reaching across impossible distances to strike with surgical precision. Missile swarms launched from concealed bases, each projectile guided by artificial intelligence that could outthink the most advanced hegemony computers. But perhaps the most shocking revelation came when Earth's moon revealed its true nature. The lunar surface split open along carefully concealed fault lines, exposing a massive shipyard that had been hidden beneath a layer of artificial regolith. From these concealed docks emerged humanity's true fleet, massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed even hegemony capital ships, their hulls gleaming with exotic materials that seemed to drink in starlight. Admiral Chen Zhao's voice cut through the chaos on all frequencies. "Overlord Crix, This is your final warning. Withdraw immediately or face complete annihilation. You are outgunned, outmaneuvered, and out of your depth. For the first time in his career, Crix found himself considering retreat. His fleet had been reduced by half, and the humans showed no signs of slowing their assault. Worse, reinforcement fleets from nearby hegemony worlds would take weeks to arrive, while Earth's defenders seemed to have reserves that hadn't even entered the battle yet. "Sir," Commander Vex urged, "we should withdraw, regroup and return with the full might of the hegemony navy." Crix's pride warred with his survival instincts. The idea of retreating from a supposedly primitive world galled him, but the alternative was the complete destruction of his fleet. Finally, pragmatism won out. All ships, withdraw to safe distance. Prep R4 hyperspace jump. As the battered remains of the hegemony fleet limped away from Earth's solar system, Maya Santos opened a final communication channel. "Overlord Crix, a word of advice. Earth is no longer the quiet world you thought you knew. We've spent decades preparing for this day, and we're not going back into hiding. The galaxy has a new player, and we intend to make our presence known." The implications of Maya's words rippled across the galaxy within hours. The Hegemony Alliance, which had seemed unstoppable in its expansion, had been defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitive farmers. Earth's revelation sent shockwaves through every galactic power, forcing them to reconsider everything they thought they knew about humanity. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth's true nature could no longer be concealed. The Shadow Fleet emerged from hiding, revealing a military capability that rivaled the greatest powers in the galaxy. The hidden shipyards, the advanced technology, the decades of careful preparation, all of it was now visible to any observer with functional sensors. The galactic balance of power had shifted overnight. The ethereal assembly immediately opened diplomatic channels, eager to establish relations with this new force. The Trade Federation began revising their assessment of human commercial potential. Even the mighty Zenith Collective, rulers of nearly a quarter of the galaxy, took notice of Earth's demonstration. But perhaps the most significant change was in how humanity viewed itself. For generations, humans had lived in secret, hiding their strength and accepting the role of galactic outcasts. Now, standing openly among the stars, they faced a new challenge, deciding what kind of galactic civilization they wanted to become. As Admiral Chen Zhao watched the last of the hegemony ships disappear into hyperspace, she allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The plan that had begun 50 years ago with a simple decision to observe before acting had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. Earth was no longer just another world in a vast galaxy. It was a power to be reckoned with, a force that would shape the future of galactic civilization. The quiet planet had finally found its voice, and the galaxy would never be the same.